Okay. Hello. We are starting right now, and this is the first time we are launching GN Attitude. What is GN Attitude? GN Attitude is a program, a short seminar, a short discussion with somebody from abroad or from our country to discuss about attitudes toward entrepreneurship, towards entrepreneurial development. And today we have Mihaela Stroe. Who is Mihaela Stroe? Mihaela Stroe is a sociologist from Romania, a very known and highly respected. And she's also one of the top speakers in Business Days Romania, according to the last surveys ran last year. Hi, Mihaela. Nice having you here.
Hi, Olesia. This is my pleasure to be here with you and with your people that are watching our Gen Attitude talk.
How are you doing? How is Sibiu? I understand it's raining very heavily.
It's raining very heavily because we are here surrounded by the mountains. We are in the middle of Transylvania in Romania. So when it's this kind of weather, the traffic is dead. So I'm very sorry for my delay, but it was no chance to come on time due to the traffic in Sibiu today.
I understand that Moldova has, and Chisinau especially, has the same issues with the heavy rain. Everything is blocked, but it's good that we still have internet, because in Milan even internet is stopping. So we are much better in this situation. I would like to first start off with the question: what is the link between you and Joe Navarro, the FBI specialist? Because I understood that you worked with him, you studied with him, but I think you are the one to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, to tell you the truth, Joe Navarro is my mentor and my teacher on behavioral analysis and nonverbal intelligence, which is my specialty. As you said, he is a former FBI agent, and he is one of the founders of the Department of Behavioral Analysis inside the FBI. So when I started my PhD in social psychology in 2003, he contacted me. He thought I'm a good student, that he could train, and I'm lucky to be trained directly by him.
It is right now more interesting because we, in this era of information, we understand a lot about the importance of behavioral approaches toward entrepreneurship development. So starting with that is why we believe that we, in general, believe that it's especially important when we try to develop the entrepreneurial culture in regions that are not so developed with regard to culture. And Moldova is one of the regions where it is needed to develop the constructive approach toward culture. And of course, it should be done by analyzing the people and their behaviors, so we can help them. So today we have a topic that is quite linked with that part of entrepreneurship, with the behavioral approaches to entrepreneurship. And I've suggested the topic of entrepreneurial habit formation. So in accordance to that, I would like to ask you, and I know that you have written a book that I read, and I was very, very curious to understand. In your book, In Harmony with Yourself, you prescribe developing habits that would maintain the sense of contentment with our lives. But how do we do that? How do we analyze our habits, and how do we maintain habits that support our development, our personal development? Let's start with that.
Yes, and in my book, thank you that you mentioned my book. In the first one, in the second book that I already launched last week in Business Days, I speak about that in order to be happy and to have harmony in your life, personal and professional life, you need to develop for yourself certain habits that you need to repeat daily in order to achieve that. So you need to see your brain like a brain that it needs to have certain pathways to generate this contentment, this happiness, this joy into your life. Because I'm telling you, Olesia, you and me, like everybody, we all have a negativity bias inside our brain. This means, shortly, that we are more attracted to negative stimulus than positive stimulus. So in order to have these very thick, high pathways in our brain, thick and deep, positive pathways, we need these daily habits for our body, for our mind, for our emotions, and for our soul. How do we do them? We choose which habits make us happy, joyful, and content. And the last research, and my personal research in the last 15 years, is this: everybody can choose. Everybody. Does not matter that you are from Moldova or from Romania or from other country. Does not matter.
So it's basically our choice. But how do we stick to that, to those constructive habits? Because you are saying that it's so easy to fall into the negative biases. How do we make them effective for our lives?
Yes, this is very true. The idea when we start to create these habits is to make a very deep and honest analysis of our life right now. So if right now your life, not your life, Olesia, the life of a person that is listening to us right now, if it's not in harmony with herself or with himself, if the life is not joyful, this means that this person is reproducing every day habits that are not constructive. So first step, which is the most difficult step, is to acknowledge that, to be aware that right now what I'm doing with my life, with my habits, are not helping me.
Okay, but for an unexperienced person, that is quite difficult to analyze, because we are not well educated in understanding our habits, in understanding very well the emotions that we have, even the emotions, because we don't understand what is triggering the negative emotions, what habits are triggering that, and we do not make the link between the bad habits and the emotions that they trigger. So how can we, as an unexperienced person, first do the self-analysis that you are talking about?
Yes, I have a very quick exercise. Of course, it's a very easy exercise and you must do it in written. This means that you need 7 days for this exercise. This means that you start the exercise on Monday and you finish the exercise on Sunday. And the exercise is very simple. From the moment that you wake up in the morning till the end of the day, you write down all the activities that you do. Like, I'm doing my personal hygiene in the morning, I'm taking breakfast at this time or not, or whatever activity that you do. After you do this every day during the 7 days, the next week that is coming, you stay and you analyze and you see, because you can notice, it's very simple to notice the patterns of behavior that are repeating. For example, I work with a lot of business people, and many of them, for example, they don't take their lunch break. So one habit, to give an example, that you can change to improve your health, for example, is to place in the agenda the lunch break.
So you have to be self-disciplined to do that, and to do that at the proper time.
Yes, because if you don't do that, behind the entrepreneur is a person, and behind a person is a body. So if you don't take care of your own body, for example, is the simplest way that you can do. How can you be successful in your entrepreneurial life? I wonder.
So meaning that you mean that self-control and exercising self-control is very important in creating entrepreneurial habits, right?
Yes, I call it self-discipline, but you can call it self-control, or we can call it self-management skills. But all these, no matter the name, all these can help you become a better entrepreneur and a more successful one.
So after the okay, I have a problem. Every morning I set out myself that of course I will exercise self-discipline, self-control. How do we keep that spirit throughout the day? Because we can start very nicely, but we understand that at the midday, of course, I didn't see that, I didn't do that, and then I didn't program my time right. How do we do that? How do we keep the same spirit throughout the day?
This information that it's not only your struggle, Olesia. It's the struggle of every entrepreneur, because in theory we are all very good, but when is with practice, this is the difficult part of each one of us. How I maintain the spirit all day, the spirit that I believe it's good for me as an entrepreneur, is that I use an agenda, which is a very strict agenda, and I stick with it. What means I stick with it? This means I don't let people to jump in my agenda if we don't agree before a time and a place. For example, like we had today, okay? And also, I use from time to time in my agenda, they are scheduled in my agenda, small breaks between activities in order to give a break to my brain to reset and to have more energy, in order to, because I do every day various activities. I'm sure that you do also. I don't do just one routine activity. I do several types of activities. So I do one type of activity, then I make a break in order to give my brain a chance to recover from the previous activity. And these breaks, according to the science, are very important, because our brain has a very simple principle that is working upon. Is this: in order to have results, the brain needs to perceive that he's using less energy. Okay? If you do a certain activity, heavily activity, and then you start another one, the brain believes, oh, this is hard for me. But if you make a break, the brain thinks, oh, now it's something new I need to focus on, you know? It's that simple. And also, I use a meditation technique. It's called Silva method. It's international method of meditation. It's 50 years now worldwide, from the beginning of its creation, every afternoon. Because I know in the afternoon, my brain is low energy. So I use a technique to recharge my brain. So as you see, what I told you, agenda, say no to people that don't program themselves, to use breaks, to use a meditation to recharge your batteries. All these are habits that are good for me, and I keep them.
How do you avoid distractions? Because you just start, you're very good, you're getting into that flow, that mysterious flow that I'm starting and I'm very focused, and you get a phone call, hi, or you get a message, it's urgent, you need to solve that and that. How do you avoid those or any type of distractions from your core goals or what you are doing now?
To tell you the truth, most of my business clients that I'm coaching on productivity, business productivity, the number one challenge that they have is how to avoid the distractions. This is the first one. And removing all your distractions from your environment, okay, it's a crucial first step when working to improve your self-discipline. And you put a stress on the right step, Olesia. Now, what I do in order to remove these distractions, because everybody has distractions, right? Everybody. I do several things. For example, I have an awareness question that I keep in my mind, and I repeat it every day, every minute, in order to keep me focused towards my objectives. And I want you to write this self-awareness question, because it's the question that saved my life from the distractions. The question is this: this activity that I do right now is the most important for my goals? I repeat,
Is this?
this activity that I do right now is the most important to my goals? Okay?
Okay, this is a very important. This is a very important question, and I would like to stress it one more time. But right now, with my words, is the activity that you are doing right now more important for your goals or the distraction that comes in?
Yes.
So the other thing is you're saying about the breaks. Besides the meditation that you organize for yourself after midday, what do you do in those breaks? What, for example, what do you suggest for the people to do to elope from the mindset of working, working, and working?
Okay. What is very important? I will give you an example because it's the way I work. For example, if I have, let's say, I need to work for my book 1 hour. It's in my agenda to work for my book 1 hour. Working for my book, it's a very exhausting mental activity, okay? Because I need to concentrate on what I'm writing. And my brain needs this break, let's say 10 minutes break or 15 minutes break before I start another activity, right? For example, having a coaching session with a client of mine. In those 15 minutes of a break, I need to do an activity that I involve my whole body. Because when I'm writing, I'm using my hand and my brain, okay? But all the other parts of my body are stuck, and I need to relax them. So what I do, I wake up, I stand up from my desk, and I go somewhere outside. I look at the sky, or I practice breathing exercises, but I do something that I put my body in motion in order to bring the whole energy back to my whole body. You can drink water. You can have a sandwich. You can go and have a talk with your colleagues. But you do something that is involving your whole body, okay? You can do some exercises if you need to restart the energy flow in your body.
Yeah, I believe because I do a lot of mental work myself, so we do a lot of reporting, writing. For me, it's also important to do the exercise because we need to maintain our healthy lifestyle. I had another question, fears.
Okay.
I think one of the most important obstacles in our patterns of thoughts are the fears that we have, that we are not going to succeed. And they grow because right now, yeah, I'm doing something habitual or something that needs a lot of focus to, a lot of discipline. And usually for me, and as I found from our entrepreneurs, for them is the fear that they will not succeed, that the fear that the work that they are doing right now or at the moment is useless. Because how do we manage those, so those in our process of habit formation?
Yes, first of all, I want to make you aware, Olesia, and the people that are watching us right now, that those fears that we believe that are related to our business failures don't exist. We create them in our minds. And in social psychology, because they don't exist, but we create them, we also create this, it's a metaphor, but it's now scientific proven that it's called self-fulfilling prophecies. So if we bring our focus, if we have our focus on the fears, because we give energy to the fears, those fears will become real. And this is self-fulfilling prophecies. Yes, each business, until now, from all my experience with my business clients, all businesses, they have challenges and they have obstacles. I didn't meet a business with no obstacles until now. And what is important is us to be trained and to have this self-discipline, and I call it personal power, to look beyond the challenges and obstacles, and to be focused on solutions instead of problems to overcome them. This, what I'm saying to you right now, it's a habit, not to stay focused on the challenges, to raise our awareness above the obstacles in order to find the solutions. And I call it an attitude towards results or solving the issues. And believe me, this attitude must be trained, because if you don't train it every day, you don't create those very deep pathways in your brain. And I have a very nice saying that is not mine. I adapted from another person, but says like this: fear is the wind that blows the lamp of the mind.
Yes, but at the same time, we are trying to train ourselves, but we go into the world and we feel, I don't know about the Romanian environment, but often I found in my country that there is an environment of complaint, of constant complaint. How do we manage that environment? Because it's quite difficult to be a sole survivor in a world of people that are constantly complaining.
It's true, and because of my experience as social psychologist, I can tell you that the environment where you are staying, it's very much influencing your attitude. And now you have a choice to stay in that environment and to be overwhelmed by the energy that that environment is producing, or to choose to change the environment. Okay, maybe you say, oh, I cannot leave Moldova, I cannot move to another country. When I say that you can change the environment, does not require precisely to move to another location or to another country. Means that in that environment that is against your positive attitude, you need to create another environment that is supporting your attitude. And I call it my positive environment. And I'll give you an example. Don't believe that in Romania is different. When I travel, whenever city I travel, people complain. Okay, people complain. We don't have this, we don't have that. But I created in my studio that we are right now, where I produce my TV shows. I created my own environment where I am surrounded by the objects that I love. For example, my books are helping me to stay positive and to have this eagerness to overcome this environment. Another way is that you can create your support group that is filled with positive people. You are defined by the 5 people that you are interacting every day. So believe me, Olesia, when I changed the persons in my environment, those 5 people, when I changed and I surrounded myself with people that are billionaires, people that are having successful businesses, and I keep contact every day and every week with those people, my business exploded because I didn't focus on the environment that is outside my studio, for example. Okay?
So, okay, I understand and I agree with you completely. And for me, it's, of course, we can bring that. I would love to bring that to my country, but at the same time, we understand that we live now, so we need that support system right now, because tomorrow, if we don't have the support system, we can give in. So basically, I love the idea of creating the support system from your own studio and keeping contact with the people that are constructively forming their lives rather than focused on the obstacles and challenges.
And another thing, and I want to congratulate you and your team, another way to overcome this negative environment is to be connected with an organization that is promoting positive attitude, like you are promoting. Because me, before meeting you, I was involved with Junior Chamber International, and I was involved with International Women Association. I am involved now with my colleagues from Asia, where I am a part of I'm an honorary professor to this university in Cambodia. Okay, so you don't have to be there, but you can keep direct contact with these organizations that are struggling and are thriving to create better lives and better entrepreneurs. Like we are now, you can do Google Hangouts, you can follow trainings. There are so many now courses provided by prestigious universities like Harvard, like Stanford, online courses for free that you can learn new skills. I believe, Olesia, that we are in 21st century right now, very fortunate because we have a lot of resources that we can use, especially online, to raise up our energy level and our attitude that were not existing 10 years ago, believe me.
That is, and if we return to attitudes and habits, what kind of habits would you define to be entrepreneurial? Like daily habits that would make an entrepreneur more entrepreneurial.
Okay, now in coaching many successful entrepreneurs over the last years, I've noticed that they often do small daily habits or routines. And I have also this kind of habits and routines. And I want to stress now some of them. And believe me, they are, I practice them, my clients practice them, and I guarantee for these habits that they will bring success in your entrepreneurial life. One habit, it's very important, is to plan your tomorrow's agenda today. So this means, and what I do before going to sleep, I have, let me find, because I have here in my agenda, I have a list. It's a very small. So this is the list. It's an empty list for tomorrow. Okay, but me, before going to sleep, I write the most important tasks that I need to do tomorrow for my objectives. Not another person's objectives, pay attention. My objectives. And I put them in writing before sleeping, because during the sleep, my unconscious brain is searching in the universal database to find the resources for this project. Many of my projects are creative projects. So if I don't do this, I don't have the idea what I'm doing the next day, for example, when I'm writing an article or whatever, giving an interview, okay? Now, this is one small habit. Plan tomorrow's agenda today. Because in the morning, the brain knows already, oh, you need to focus on this, this, and this. You don't lose energy, the energy of the morning to set up the agenda. This is a very important habit. Another important habit, because we are all entrepreneurs and we need to organize meetings, you need to put your meetings, I call it, on a diet.
Okay.
On a diet. This means keep your meetings short. For example, if you have a temptation to put a meeting 1 hour, from beginning, I tell you, it's not a successful meeting, because people lose their attention span in 15, 20 minutes. So in order to be successful, you need to plan a meeting that is maximum 20 minutes. Maximum, okay? I know managers that they have 2 minutes or 5 minutes meetings to be efficient. Okay, but before coming to this self-discipline, start with 20 minutes. And to have a very good plan of the meeting, not to be distracted and to lose your focus. Many people of many clients lose focus because they start discussing other subjects. If they are not on the agenda, don't do it. Another habit, very small habit, is to find a way to manage an email system that works for you. Some people are starting with Outlook. It's very important to find a system. I use, for example, Google Drive, Google Calendar, okay? You need to find that system that is helping your business, okay? Another habit that is very important for entrepreneurs is exercise regularly. I exercise 30 minutes every day, either walking, either running. I am doing certain exercise that I have for my back pain, for example. But you need to keep your body healthy, because if you have your body healthy, you have your brain healthy. Okay? Mm-hmm. These are small habits, but in order to create them and to have them in our life, we need to understand the formation of a habit. And I want to tell you very shortly the three most parts, the most important parts of a habit creation. Because every habit starts with a cue. This cue, according to the studies, can be a location, a time of the day, an emotional state, other people, a pattern of behavior. So something that starts the habit. And we call it a cue, okay? Because we need a stimulus to create a habit, okay?
Sorry. To just launch it.
To launch it. Then this cue, it's triggered by a certain routine, which is the behavior itself. So this routine that we do, mostly bad routine, I'm sorry to say this, is triggered by this cue, okay? And the last part of the habit is the reward. So remember, cue, routine is very simple. Cue, routine, habit. Reward of that habit. And the reward is the most important part in these three elements formation, because the reward is feeding our brain or destroying our brain.
It's creating that chemical, I think. It's creating that chemical state of contentment.
Yes, yes. So in order to create positive habits as a successful entrepreneur, you need to think and to acknowledge inside yourself what reward would you need as entrepreneur. Okay? What reward? And let's say an example, Olesya. If I'm asking you right now, from your experience as entrepreneur, which is the most rewarding element that is giving you motivation and goodwill to continue what you are doing with Jen?
I think seeing the people content, seeing the people that they appreciate the work I do, for me, this is the most important reward. And how do I collect it? I usually collect it through feedback, through opinions, through interviews. That is the most important, because Jen is about the people that we involve.
Okay, so the reward for you is the positive feedback that you get from the other people. Okay?
Yes.
In order to have that, you have created a certain routine in your life, in your business life. Okay? Let's give an example. What I noticed from interaction with you, that you create events.
Yes.
For people that people enjoy, and they can provide you feedback.
Exactly. We collect the feedback through a feedback form, and we also ask them by interviewing them directly, because it's so important to have that emotional feedback, because reading it, it's not enough. We just talk to them. We talk to our people.
Yes. In order to have this routine, which is one cue that is triggering inside you this behavior?
You mean the cue? For me, it's okay. If I understand it correctly from what you said, for me, it's important to just see the reactions. That is one cue, and for me, it's important to when I read them, it's also important to understand. If I understood your question correctly.
Yes, you understood my question correctly. What the cue that is motivating you to have this routine and this behavior, and the reward after all, is to see other people. Seeing other people reactions for you is the cue. Okay?
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
It means that you are in the right place with what you are doing, because you are, let's say, you are there for the other people.
Yeah, why shouldn't it? We like when our work is quite appreciated. That is why we, even when we collect our feedback, even when we get sometimes negative feedback, we process it, analyze it, and then we rebuild it, rebuild the events, the activities, the programs accordingly.
Yeah, so you are
get that positive reaction from the people. So we could get that the people seem happy, seem content with the results of our work.
Yes, but you are committed.
Yes, we are committed.
So this is the cue. And as you see, when you become aware about what is motivating your behavior, it's very easily after that to build a routine to support that cue, to support that behavior in order to have the reward. Now, some people are motivated by the negative motivation. This means that, for example, they need to run from something. So I do this in order to not to be, not to have obstacles, not to have less money in my bank account. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They have negative motivation triggers, and in order, so you need to escape from somewhere.
Okay.
You need to escape from the poverty. You need to escape from disappointing other people. You need to escape from being procrastinating and so on. So this is they are motivated negatively, and this is not good.
Okay.
Because in order to have positive habits and positive results, you need positive motivation, like going towards, I'm going to be more successful.
You just anticipated my question, because I was like, I see myself that, for example, if I'm trying to elope from something, for me it's like it's enhancing the fear rather than building me constructively. So I was wondering, are they for long term this negative? And you just answered, you anticipated my question. I'm just, yeah, it's very curious that you were saying that. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was just a genuine reaction from you.
No, it's true, but it's normal reaction. That's why I anticipated your thinking, because people, because in the brain we collect more negative stimulus. Yes, when we are having inside cues that are negative, we apparently we are motivated. But this motivation, I want to be very clear, is not for a long term. Okay, it's for a specific task, a specific activity, and we need to change our attitude towards ourselves in order to build a longer energy. Because everything that we need to change in order to be successful is our energy. Yes, when we have this energy on the positive side, when we have the time, because we build our time to have the time in the agenda to work on our objective, be sure, Olesia, and we add self-discipline, of course, we are successful. But this change of behavior, don't expect that somebody will come and push a button inside you and will create it.
Thank you. I think it's very important. And the last point you made is that if we want to change our habits, we should do it ourselves. We should not let the environment do it for us, and we should start with forming the behavior. And I would just, in order to conclude, I would like to stress on how we form those behavior. Repeating what you've said above is the most important, is the routine, the cue. Where do we start? Where do we start building this new habit? The second is creating that routine, that repeated behavior, that repeated way, and acknowledging the importance of that routine. And the third is creating the reward system, a system that is very satisfactory to you emotionally, because you need to return to those habits. And also, I would like to mention, because we are talking about the entrepreneurial habits, some of the habits that you mentioned above. And one of them that I often use, and when I was a kid, I was not appreciating my mother not making me to do that, but she was motivating me to do that, to plan every night your agenda for tomorrow. to keep your mind focused and have the meetings very small, maximum 20 minutes at the beginning with a very concentrated agenda. To find a way to manage your email system to help your business. To exercise regularly at least 30 minutes a day. And one that you mentioned above, create a support system for you as an entrepreneur, with entrepreneurs that are successful, with entrepreneurs that deal with the same issues, but at the same time, they have this constructive mindset. Mihaela, it was a very, very pleasant conversation, and I wanted to keep it to 10 minutes, but it was impossible because I was so curious to find more and more about how do we build those habits, how do we create ourselves, and how do we manage ourselves. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm so happy that you are going to come into Moldova on the 14th of November to share your book with us and to help us understand why should the I be the first for ourselves and then the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy, and I'm looking forward to come to your event and to share my my experience with the people that will be at that event and the events that we are organizing, because it's my pleasure to make them aware that they can change and that our attitude is depending only on us.
And we are promising, we are coming with a new Gen attitude in Romanian. So people that do not understand that well English, they can actually access information like the one we shared. So our time is up. We heard the alarm, so we have to go forward with our agenda. And have a nice day, you all. It was nice talking. It was nice talking to Mihaela, and I hope we hear your feedback so we can build the next session for you specifically.
Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon.